Good morning, good morning. Welcome to Wake Up with Bunny. I have my water, I have my coffee. I'm representing two different states here. I don't think you can see, but it's Wisconsin and Texas. We are ready to take on the news feed. Let's find out what is happening in our neck of the woods, in our little corner of the neighborhood. I'm pretty excited about it. I hope everybody's going to have a great day today. All right. You know who I am. That's me. All right. Let's see what Ryan put up. Let's just see what he pulled over. He's been pulling over some good stuff lately. I think mostly probably from Reddit. Let's see. I can't open up with my girlfriend. We, a male 21, female 21, used to talk a lot, but as time went on, she started to talk more and didn't give me a chance to talk, and that made me go silent. Like whenever I'm saying something, she'd be like, "Oh my God, when I was young, yes, I understand, but let me finish what I was saying." And I said that, and she just listened for the sake of it and started saying her thing, and it started to annoy me a lot of those days, and it's making me feel like I should talk less to her. I love Ryan putting this up. He's like, what does this look like to you? So let's talk about this. Where do you fellas think the problem is here? Number one, I think one of the problems is this guy wants to talk like a girl. Most men that I know don't want to talk that much. They don't want to be the equivalent of a teenage girl or a 21-year-old girl. I think this guy was probably raised by a single mother, because I feel like if there would have been a strong male figure in the house, he probably would have been guided in a better way. Guided in the way that, number one, quit talking so damn much, that kind of thing. Quit incessantly talking. Nothing that you have to say is that interesting. Number two, he would have seen by being led that men, when they speak, they need to have something important to say. Women will chatter about anything. Men, if you're talking, it needs to be clear that you're saying something of great importance. If you're using your words, it's for purpose. And I think that's the biggest problem that's going on in this scenario, is that this guy just wants to talk, and then he's offended that his girlfriend wants to talk as much as he does. And the problem is, girls are really, really good about, just listening enough to be formulating their own responses. Guys are pretty bad about this too, but this guy communicates like a girl. That's a big problem. Rollo's book, that's about what my version of his of Rational Male looks like. It's, the more times you read it, the more things you pick out. It's a great book. I don't know what that guy's about. I don't care. Trad women on Twitter, celibate men on Twitter, angry about women having sex. Yeah, that's about right. That's about right. The main thing is that for most guys, most guys get so, I'm going to go back to this so it makes sense to what I'm talking about. Most guys get so jealous about the fact that women have had sex before them. However, they will also get upset if they don't fuck on the first date. So there's got to be this balance point between you wanting her to have enough experience that she will fuck you, but you don't want her to have so much experience that she'll outshine you. And I think that that's probably one of the biggest factors in men's actual jealousy on the ground in real time because oh, that one doesn't make any sense. There we go. Because you want to be her first, but at the same time, if you're her first, you're probably not going to have sex with her unless you're married to her. So just be cognizant that women have other men in their lives. They've had other men in their lives. You've had other women in your life. It's a balance point. You just have to find that balance point between 0 and 3,000. There's got to be one. There's got to be one. Let's see. There isn't a masculine crisis. There's just a small number of people who think that masculinity encompasses something more than being a source of redistributable productivity for the feckless and more. I'm exhausted from just reading that. What's this original? Oh my, this is a whole thing. This is just a back and forth. And it just keeps going. All right. Back to the beginning. That's boring. I'm bored. Guys, who do you think the best Spider-Man was? This guy's not my pick. Oh my. The things that people put online cracked me up. When I leaned in to kiss him and he threw his hands in the air and said yay before we started making out. Oh, and that is what dried her pussy, because instead of behaving in a way that this happens all the time, he makes out with cute girls all the time, that this is just another day in his life that he's, nailing a cute new girl. He celebrates, he overcompliments, he overcompensates for clearly what is his lack of experience with women. And this kind of thing blows up. She posts about it on social media for everyone to see. And then we screenshot it and we run with it. She gets her 15 minutes of fame and he never learns his lesson. This is a pretty good tweet. Let's talk about this. Where did it start? Oh my. Okay, we're gonna start here. Red pill dating coaches. Be on your purpose. Build yourself. The women will come to you. Does that. It's not about that, bro. It's about X. This is why red pill dating coaches need to play Frogger in traffic. That's pretty good. So, be on your purpose, build yourself, and the women will come to you. Let's just talk about this phrase, because I have heard it. I have heard it. And the problem is, if you build your purpose, if you build yourself, if you strictly focus on building your career, your job, yourself, but you're not working on your skills with women, you're going to fail. That's how you end up being the 40-year-old virgin. That's how you end up being a simp, because girls are your weakness. Women and interactions with women are the weak point in your coat of arms. And this is a real problem, because if women are your weak point, then you can easily be taken advantage of and directed by them. So no matter how strong you are in business, no matter how strong you are physically, mentally to be strong enough to withstand the manipulation that women are well trained in. Keep in mind, guys, we've been working our lives around you since preschool. We discover boys so young. We've got boyfriends, we flirt, we talk to your mothers, we chase you around the playground. You guys don't discover us until like junior high, until like 7th, 8th grade. What, 13, 14, 15? That's when you actually start to wash your hair, brush your teeth, you know, actually like care about your appearance and your smell. We have a great foothold. So not only are we more emotionally just dug in and emotionally connected to the outcome of our interactions with you men, but we've got 13 to 15, 10 to 15 more years of experience doing it. So we've been learning how to manipulate. We've been learning how to control. We've been learning how to attract. We've been learning how to play the game for so much longer than you have. If you then discover girls, date a little bit, high school, junior high, high school, college, a little bit, but you focus on your mission and then expect the girls to follow, then you're actually going to end up 30 years behind her in her ability to control the scenario. So you absolutely cannot behave in this way and expect to win and expect to be able to keep the girl. Now this is, I think that Elon Musk is probably the best example of this, that as far as like common knowledge, because he's very much been run through by girls. He's very much like super successful, you know, building his brands, building his physical body, but at the same time, then he gets run through by women. Who's the Amazon guy? Jeff Bezos, another great example of this. You guys, if you are on your purpose, if you are building yourself, and then you are expecting the women to come to you, it just doesn't work that way. You start 30 years behind the game, and that is just not the way you want to play it. So that's why that's that. If it's important enough for newsworthy stuff, then my man will tell me. Everyone, and I mean everyone, hates Pearl so much I kind of want to take her side now just to be a thorn. Of course you do, Ryan. Of course you do. You know, whenever I was at university, I remember my first day of one of my English classes, the professors like going through, do you always root for the underdog? Do you, always hope that the weakling wins and all this stuff? And listen, one of my favorite movies is Rocky and all that follow. Like Rocky Balboa is my hero. Talk about perseverance. So it's kind of funny that this thing with, wanting to take her side essentially just because literally no one seems to like her. But let me say, no one seems to like her. There is a reason that she was chosen to be in the position that she's in. There's a reason that she's got the foothold she does. I think she's just smart enough to play the game. I think she's just bored enough to have all the time in the world to do it. And I think she's just, for lack of a better way to say it, mid enough to not be intimidating, but also not detract people don't get so wrapped up in her beauty that they're paying attention for that. They're actually like, I think what's interesting to me is I've seen a lot of women come and go through this neighborhood over the almost 6 years that I've been here. And they always self-destruct. So it'll be interesting to kind of continue to watch Pearl and what happens. Yes. Please close your laptop and go talk to girls, human women in real life. This, I think, is one of the biggest problems with the circle jerk action of this neighborhood, is that it's really easy. It's kind of like reading 50 books in a year about writing, but never picking up the page, never actually starting to write. In this neighborhood, in this digital neighborhood, more people will talk about what there needs to be done, the nature of women, what they need to do to meet women, where they need to go, how they need to dress, and yet completely ignore the fact that you need to actually go outside and talk to the girl. This is an important part of the message. You have to consume the information and then go practice your skills. This is not one of those things. Dealing with women is something that you have to stay on top of. You have to actually stay crisp. You have to like stay on point and keep yourself sharp, so that when you deal with women, you are on top of your game. You have a confidence in approaching women. You have a confidence in dealing with the women that are already in your life. You have a confidence in knowing what to say, how to say it, and how to stay in control of not only the situation, but the relationship itself. So yes, I can't stress enough that you can't just be circle jerking online about how to deal with women and how to have great relationships and how to have great sex and not put these things into practice. All right, I need to catch up on some comments, guys, because I do not want to ignore that. I do not want to ignore that you guys are jumping in, because I love it. First, I'm starting with, my wife hadn't seen Rocky. We watched it the other night. I love it. So this makes me so happy. I always say I'm not a Sylvester Stallone fan. I'm a Rocky Balboa fan. Like, and then there's this actor who looks like Rocky Balboa who's going on about life in the real world. But I was introduced to Rocky first with Rocky 4, and I was in like the 6th grade, and I absolutely loved it. Now, this is kind of back to that Ryan Stone comment about Pearly, because very much so, like, I love Rocky because it's an underdog story, but also Rocky 4 was my favorite for so long, but it's everybody's favorite. So you can't like the same exact thing that everyone else in the world likes. Instead, I like Rocky 3 best because it's also got Mr. T in it, who I grew up like loving watching the A-Team. But Brian, now you have to watch all the way through. That's the rule of Rocky. If you watch one, you have to watch them all, and you have to watch them in order. I hope your wife is prepared for this, because she's got a long road ahead. She's got to go through some bad ones. She's got to go through, Rocky 5, which is garbage. Then she's got Rocky Balboa. She's got the Creed movies. Like, there's a lot ahead. So you've opened up an entire can of worms for her, Brian. I respect that. I think it's a great idea. A-Team was great. I actually had pictures of Mr. T in my closet when I was a kid. And do you remember those? If you remember A-Team, you probably remember those, like, I think that they were actually roach clips, but I didn't know that. I was a child. Anyway, the roach clips with the feathers on them, I had them like hanging from my light switch. I just thought they were the coolest thing ever. So, yes, play. I'm catching up. I'm catching up. Play Frogger in traffic was almost clever, but it's lacking something. If you figure out, Baron, if you figure out what the missing element is, please let us know. Rework that phrase so that we can all benefit. Oh my gosh. Back to the real work. I'm not digging ditches here, but it's important. Let's see. For Worth Playboy. Okay, let's talk about breakup sex in women, because you guys, there's so many. Let's see what, okay, let's back up. Never mind that a lot of women in that instance will want to get on the carousel for a bit to catch up on all the cock she's missed out on. I've seen it, chicks that will literally go through 3 or 4 dudes in a weekend, sometimes multiple dudes in a night. Absolutely. This is the real deal. And this is, listen, this is do not count sex. This doesn't count sex. Girls will never count it. They will never admit to it, not even to their girlfriends. There are very few people who will actually ever find out that this really happened. So make no mistake, you won't know about it. None of her friends will know about it, and nothing will be given away about it. So Fort Worth says, chicks that will literally go through 3 or 4 dudes in a weekend. Post breakup and random dick riding from healthy average girls. This is normal. Girls will never admit to this. Very common post breakup notch bounce. So don't bother asking. You can't ask. She's not going to give a straight answer. If girls are not in a like serious monogamous relationship, then they absolutely will not admit to the sex that they are having with men. So breakup sex where she's hitting that carousel is the real deal. She will, I've known some of the classiest women that you would never expect to ever be in this boat literally go through 3 men in 3 days, 10 men in a week. This is not unusual because it's so easy for women to have sex. Literally, women just have to be available. This is a great divide between men and women. Men have to initiate the conversation. You have to have the confidence to do so. You have to know all the right things to say. You have to attract her. You have to get her on board for meeting up with you. You have to make the plans, make the reservations, get her there, choose the venue, choose the bounce locations, all this stuff. The date has to go perfectly. And then you have to also close the deal. Men have about 20 steps that have to lead up to that one hookup, that one new sexual partner. Women literally have to show up and say, okay, this is a frustration for you guys. I get it. It's irritating, but it's just the truth of the matter. So this is how women can go through so many. All you have to do is, all women have to do is answer one of the many orbiters that are in her DMs, in her text, in her phone calls, in her social circle, people that she reaches out to, people that she runs around with. All she has to do is say that she just broke up, or that she's bored and doesn't have anything to do tonight, or essentially that she's available, that she wishes she could go out with someone, or she can jump on the apps. A few swipes in the right direction, and she can literally have a date that night. And then there are always the boomerang girls who will circle back to previous sexual partners, because then there's a new notch count. This is why you never burn bridges unless she's absolutely psychotic and, like, I don't know, killed your cat and slashed all your tires or whatever the case may be. If she's healthy at all and you dated once and you broke up, or you dated once and you just kind of grew apart, or whatever the case is, she will circle back if she's available again. So never burn those bridges with anyone that you don't absolutely have to. But this is absolutely really what happens. Even the highest quality women, and maybe even mostly the highest quality women, because it's safe, it's private, and no one ever finds out. And the second part of this tweet is, don't bother asking, because she will never tell you and it will just cause discomfort. Brian, play Frogger on I-35. Yes, that is a good rewrite. I like that. Oh, sorry, Baron. That's awesome. So play Frogger in traffic wasn't quite hitting the nail on the head, but play Frogger on I-35. Now that's something that everyone, especially in DFW, can relate to. Let's see what else we find. Let's see what else we find in our little neck of the woods here. All right, this is great. We will end on this final tweet. I will end on my man here. Date essentials. Number 1, and this is first date. Don't call it a date. It's a meetup. You're just meeting up. You're gonna get to know each other. It's not a date. That puts a lot of pressure on you. First of all, it causes a lot of expectations from her side. Now, granted, she will still call it a date. Make no mistake. It's still a date to her, but you're not calling it a date. Dress super well. The general rule of thumb is always to dress one step better than is necessary for where you're going. So dress better than everyone around you, and you will always stand out. Keep it simple. Alcohol is sex fuel. Meet up, have a few drinks, get to know one another, then bounce to second and third locations. If you enjoy the girl, keep bouncing and close the deal. If you don't enjoy the girl, you have a few drinks at one location, and you say, you go on your merry way. You wish her well. Don't be boring. This doesn't mean that you have to be the court jester. It just means that you have interesting things to say. You are funny and lighthearted, and you're there to show her a good time. Your job is to give her a break from everyone else in the world that is driving her crazy. So she's got a stressful job. She's got kids at home. She had to hire a babysitter. She is in the middle of a big project. Her parents are driving her crazy because she's divorced and she hasn't found a new man yet. Whatever the case may be, she's got enough stress. She's hoping meeting up with you will just be a respite from the real world. So she wants to meet up with a handsome man. She wants to have a few drinks, have a few laughs, maybe have some great sex, and forget about real life for a little while. That's your job. Give her plausible deniability. So alcohol is sex fuel, plausible deniability. So It's not that she's come into your place to fuck like rabbits. She's coming up to your place because you've got a really great art collection. She's coming up to your place because you have two turtles that you really want to show her. She's coming up to your place because you've got this crazy collection of guitars. Whatever you use goes a long way in giving her plausible deniability that that allow her to relax and have sex and come to your place without feeling like a slutty, guilty whore. Then fuck her like it's her last fuck and yours. Focus, especially on the first date, on just you having fun and you enjoying yourself. That first time that you hook up with a new girl, she will likely not let her freak flag fly, even if she's got one, because she's so focused on how she looks. If you're enjoying the way she looks, if you're enjoying the sensations you're having, she's so self-conscious that she's not relaxing into it at all. She may orgasm, but likelihood is even the first few times of a new hookup guy, she's not going to be able to orgasm because she's so in her head about how you're enjoying her body and how you're enjoying what you're seeing and what you're experiencing with her. So you fuck her like it's your last fuck and hers, and she will derive the good feelings from it. You're having a great time, so clearly she must be having a great time. This is how it works. Now, if you do not just consistently have the best sex of your life and give the best sex of your life to the girls that you're with, if you're hooking up once and then they're ghosting, if you're in a long-term relationship or a marriage and the sex seems stale, the one thing I can tell you is you need my Fuck Like a Porn Star course. It's over 11 hours of video content. It's daily emails for 21 days straight. It is truly a total immersion course to put you on the level of being a sex god. Every woman who you ever fuck will remember your name because you will give the best dick she's ever had, and she will not ever forget it. So if you haven't already purchased Fuck Like a Porn Star, the book, this is absolutely next level information that I want to invite you to join in and maximize your sexual pleasure. No one has a terrible life if they're having incredible sex. So just remember that. Thank you so much for waking up with me. Thank you for all the great commentary and comments in the chatter box. I love that. On this particular show, it's a little tricky to stay in the chats. So thank you guys for jumping in there. Also, tune in at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time in 2.5 hours to Fort Worth and the Morning Hustle show. So be watching for that at 10 a.m. and I will be on there with my man, and we're going to go through all kinds of great topics today. We've got a lot of great things to lift up, and I am really excited about that show. I love being able to jump on there with him and have fun and interact and play and interact with you guys as well. So I will see you in 2.5 hours. Thank you for joining me today. Bye.